We've all been there. The light was wrong, the weather didn't cooperate, or the background was just a mess. Wildlife photography doesn't always give you the shot that you're looking for. Today, I'm going to show you some post-production techniques that'll help you rescue those shots and pull the most out of a bad situation. Hi, I'm Terry Vanderheiden, professional photographer. Now, I can honestly say that I have never made a mistake. I thought I made one once, but I was wrong. Even as a professional, we all make mistakes. Even more often so is the situation doesn't cooperate. Weather seems to be the biggest contributing factor to a pre-visualized image that never materializes. Let me show you how you can deal with an image where the weather just didn't cooperate. You likely have your own images that didn't come out the way you wanted. However, if you'd like to work on the exact images I work on every week in advance of my Tuesday tutorial, just go to my website, imagelight.com, sign up to the mailing list, and hit subscribe. Fill out that simple form, and each week I'll send you a reminder of my video going live, as well as a link to the practice images that I'll be working on that week. All right, so let's get into Lightroom Classic and see if we can fix this image that we've come across. So here's our image here. It's a shot of a sandhill crane in the fog. Now, the fog is one thing to deal with, and we got up early to go photograph these cranes, and we got there, it was super foggy. Couldn't see them at first, actually. So, but I'm still gonna shoot. I'm not gonna just turn around and go home. The one condition that I really can't stand is wind. Wind messes up if I'm recording sound. It messes up moving bushes around that I don't want to be moved. I think it makes animals kind of hunker down a little bit more. But tell me in the comments, what's your least favorite weather condition that you have to deal with? Mine's wind, but you tell me what you think. This image here, I've created a couple of virtual copies. We've got the little triangle that reminds us of that. So let's go ahead and open one here. And let's go through into the develop module and see how we can fix this. So real simply, one of the things that we're seeing here is it's a lack of contrast. So if we can come in here, we can go to contrast and we can slide that. We get a little bit more out of it. See, we can pull up the contrast on that. And our exposure, we can darken it. Well, let's go ahead and darken it just a little bit. And let's check our highlights. If we move the highlights up, that helps just a tiny bit. How about the shadows? We move the shadow. Nope, that's the wrong direction. That doesn't seem to help. No, whites just make it brighter because it's grabbing so much of that fog and making it brighter. Blacks doesn't really help a lot. But here's what does, I think, an amazing job. We come down here to presence and we go to Dehaze and we just slide that all the way over. Look what it did. Got rid of all that fog. Our exposure needs to be changed a little bit, so let's go and bring that up. But look at that. We went from this super foggy by just mainly using Dehaze and getting that cleaned up. All right, that's it for this week's tutorial. Take your images if they're foggy, put them in the Dehaze, and you're good to go. Let's take a closer look here to see what happens when we use a little bit too much Dehaze, and that is, wow, the noise really got built up really heavily. So if we take a closer look at this, we can see that we've got a lot of noise going on here. Now, there really shouldn't be that much noise because when we hover over the histogram, we can see that this was shot at ISO 1600. It shouldn't be that noisy, but it's pretty noisy. And the reason is we really pressed our Dehaze up. When we pull that back, see, the noise isn't as apparent. But the Dehaze is like a micro contrast. So it's going to create contrast in each and every pixel if it can. So as we pull this up and really hit the Dehaze heavy, then we're going to really bring in a lot of noise. So needless to say, we got to fix this noise that we've got here. So let's come down to detail and we'll go to our denoise that is installed inside of Lightroom Classic and see what kind of a job it can do with the noise in this image. So it's set on 50, so you can't really tell any difference, but let's go ahead and slide this over. As we slide this over, we're going to start getting rid of more and more noise. Now, one of the things that we see here when we use this denoise tool, and you might have seen this in other images as well, see this kind of patchwork stuff going on here? This is kind of, a little patchy and a little bit strange. So one of the ways that we can kind of eliminate some of that is come down here to luminance and start sliding that over. And that will solve some of the issues with that patchiness that comes with the denoise there. Let me pull our detail back. So that softens that a little bit. Unfortunately, it softens the whole image, right? It really softens the bird's face, almost looks like this is a painting. So I'm not really going for this denoise in this particular case. So let's go to this next image here, which is the same image, and we're going to do the same things we did in the basic panel. We're going to change our exposure just a little bit, bump our contrast up, and then come down to dehaze, slide that way over, make sure that we've got the right exposure overall. That looks pretty good. So again, here we got that same image, same amount of noise that we had before. If we compare it to the one that we did the denoise on, we've softened that quite a bit, but of course the bird looks a little too soft, really. So we've done our things here inside of Lightroom Classic, but let's go ahead and bring this over into Photoshop and do a couple of techniques that I think is going to help inside of Photoshop. If you're enjoying this kind of content, hit that like button. It really helps other people find this video. And also don't forget to hit the subscribe button, ring that bell icon so you'll be notified by YouTube when the video is released. You can always reach me directly at terry@imagelight.com. That's my email. But the best way to get a hold of me is through the comments. Leave a comment in the comment section. That way other people can learn from different processes that we all have and we can share, and more people can learn that way. Okay, so we have the image brought into Photoshop. Let's go ahead and make a few additional copies of this background. We'll do Command J and make a copy of it here. Now, as we look at this, let's explore a couple of different options of fixing some of these noise issues. If we go up to Filter and we go into AI Denoise, this is the denoise that Topaz is partnered with Photoshop and allows you to use. So let's go ahead and click on this. You don't have any controls. We're just going to let AI Denoise do its work. And this is a Topaz, kind of a Topaz light, if you will, of how this works. All right, so it finished up its denoise. This is the one that you pull in here and get AI Denoise. Now that's going to cost you a couple of credits from your AI account, but not a lot. But you see what it did here? It softened the noise, but it made kind of streaks. It almost looks like it's raining behind here. And there's really the transition between the face of the bird and the background is just poor. I don't think that looks great. But we'll label this here as Topaz AI. Let's go ahead and do another one here. We'll just make another background copy and we'll drag this up on top of this, and we'll just turn this one off for now. So now we've got another copy here we're going to work with. So there's a different way to work with backgrounds like this if you want. So let's say, for instance, we'd like to alter this background, but we don't want to alter our subject. So the way to do that is to come over here to any of these select tools, click on it, and we can do select subject. That pops up right up here in your taskbar. We click on that, then Photoshop is going to look and say, what's the subject? Okay, the subject is the sandhill crane. It does a nice selection of it, and then we do Command J, and we put that up onto its own layer. You can see right here, we have our own layer of our sandhill crane right there. Now, if we go back, let's go ahead and turn that off for now. We go back here, and one of the things that we want to do, we want to deal with just the background. So the easy way to deal with that is to come over here and grab our remove tool. So that's the one that looks like a Band-Aid and two little stars next to it. And we're just going to paint over the entire bird here. And it's important to make sure that you maybe go just a little over to make sure that you get all of the bird, so that Photoshop, when it goes to remove it, it knows to remove everything. So we'll get his legs and the rest of his feathers. And it looks like we did a pretty good job covering him with, there we go, that looks good. Now, let's go hit our little checkbox and have Photoshop remove this from the background. All right, so now we've got the bird completely removed. Now, if we want to open this back up, now we've got the bird back in place. But what's nice is these are now on separate layers. And since they're on separate layers, we can deal with them differently. So go into this background copy. What we're going to do, if we don't want to pay for any of our denoise, what we want to do is we want to soften the noise. So the way that we do that, we go up to filter, and whenever you have the opportunity, always use convert for smart filters. That's the place you want to start every time if you can. So let's click on that. And now you can tell right here by the little icon that we've created a smart filter. So we come up here, we can see that some of these things are grayed out, so they're not available to us. But for the most part, it's a great way to go. So always try that first. And if your filters are available, then you can just go ahead and use them as you want. So we're going to come down here to blur, and we're going to go to Gaussian blur. And this Gaussian blur is just a softening of all the pixels throughout your image. And so you can move this slider around to get to wherever you want. I think 27.5 is good. Softens the background. We'll click OK. And as we look at this, let's go ahead and zoom up on this. See, that's just an overall soft background, right? You can't tell that there's a bunch of noise going on. So let's go ahead and bring this image of our bird back. And now let's take a look. He looks pretty decent against that background. So we've softened that background for us. You can use this in other techniques as well. So now we like this except for one thing. It doesn't really look all that realistic with this bird just right here. So what we have to do is we need to bring back some of that background that was in the original shot. And the way we do this is whenever you create a smart filter, you're going to get a layer mask here. So this mask here, this white box, is a layer mask, and we have the ability to basically cut a hole in it to view everything down here. So let's grab our brush, and we're going to paint in black. And let me just show you what I'm talking about. We're going to paint right on this layer here, which is the layer mask. So if we paint on this, you can see that that brings back that background, right? We can paint across here and bring back that background however we want it to make it look a little more realistic. However, it doesn't look quite right. So here's a simple way to do it. Let's go over to our gradient tool, make sure that we're working in a gradient of black. We start with black. We can kind of check up here. I'm using a classic gradient, and I go from black to nothing. We're going to use a linear gradient, so it's a line gradient. And we're just going to start probably right about here and drag it up. And so what it did is it created a gradient across the bottom. And so all of this down here, these grasses are gradiently going to fall off for us. And that's why that is a really super tool to use. And it looks much more realistic. Let's turn this off and on. That's how we started, and that's how we end up with. So the Gaussian blur that we put in is removing the noise. So let's go ahead and look close. That's the noise that we started with, and we remove the noise by putting in the Gaussian blur. Then we just use that layer mask that comes with it, and we leave this clear. You know, there's noise down here, but we're not noticing the noise down here because it's not really part of the image that people are going to be attracted to. They're going to be attracted to your subject. So you can add in, there can be noise down here and nobody's going to really tell, but that looks a lot more realistic. So here's our image that we just did inside of Lightroom, and here's our image that we did inside of Photoshop. So we've softened the noise in the background, still kept the sharpness in the bird, and I think that looks pretty good. So an image like this that's heavily foggy and you want to get some detail out of it, the first slider you want to go to is that Dehaze. It really does a fantastic job of bringing those tones back. The downside about it is it brings in a lot more noise. So you will have to deal with the noise. We saw how we dealt with the noise inside of Lightroom Classic, but if you like, hop over into Photoshop, take your subject, pop it off of its layer, and then soften that whole background. That way you can, or denoise that background if you like, and then you can bring your subject back on top of it and it still looks really, really good. Always remember to convert your layers to a smart filter. That way you can go in and make changes and then come back and make changes again if you like. It also comes with that little layer mask that you can alter and get your job done a lot quicker because it's already there. So definitely use convert to smart filters when you're inside of Photoshop and you're planning to do a filter on anything. All right, that's it for this week. See you next time.